So first we'll see the what is the block diagram of microcomputer. Then where is the importance of microprocessor we'll see in this microcomputer. Block diagram of microcomputer. First one, this is a ALU, arithmetic logic unit, and a register or array. Register array, then control unit, then system bus, and then system bus be connected one side as a memory, ROM, then read write memory. The next input device, and then output device. So this is a simple block diagram of microcomputer. So in this, whatever the main functions like arithmetic logics and the register arrays, then control unit, all the combination of all such functions called as a microprocessor. This is called a CPU, central processing unit in the computer. We can say microprocessor. Yes. So then address bus, data bus, control bus, all will be comes in the basic computer system. Now, what is actually the microprocessor? The practically we are using, that is a 8085. Now the latest versions also have 80286. Then 8086, 8088, so many latest versions also came, but basically we are studying the 8085 microprocessor only. So what is the main functions of this? We'll see. It is a 40 pin IC. It requires plus 5 volts single power supply. Then the address bus width of 8085 is a 16 bit. Its addressing capacity is, that is the 2 power 16. So 2 power 16 nothing but 64K. So then what is the address range here? The low order address bus from A0 to A7 is multiplexed with data bus D0 to D7. That is a Then maximum clock frequency of 8085 microprocessor is 3.07 megahertz. The clock frequency of is 3.07 megahertz. Okay. Then the crystal frequency of this processor is 6.144 megahertz. Crystal frequency of this processor is 6.144 megahertz. It is always double to that of clock frequency. It is always double to that of clock frequency. Okay. Then the 8085 microprocessor is having there are around 74 basic instructions with around 246 opcodes. So this is an important thing. It supports some 5 hardware interrupts and 8 software interrupts. So this is the main important the interrupts we are using. It supports it supports 5 hardware interrupts and 8 software interrupts. So what are the hardware interrupts? We'll see now. Hardware interrupts. This is a trap RST 7.5, RST 6.5, then RST 5.5 and INTR. So these are the main hardware interrupts. So what is the priority of order? We will see. The first priority is a trap. We will see. First priority is a trap. Then priority. The first priority is trap. Then the next priority is RST 7.5. Then next priority is RST 6.5. Then next priority is RST 5.5. The last priority is INTR. So these are the main hardware interrupts. Okay. We will continue the next. This trap is also called. This trap is also called RST 4.5. RST 4.5. Trap has highest priority interrupt. Trap has highest priority interrupt, and INTR is the least priority. INTR, INTR is least priority. Right. Okay. Then the 8085 supports 5 status flags. 8085 supports 5 status flags. That is number 1, sign, yes, then 0, Z, then auxiliary carry, AC, then parity, this is P, then carry is CY, then carry CY. Okay, this is the status flag, 5 status flags which we are using in 8085. Next, it consists of two 16-bit address register. Main important thing, it consists of two 16-bit address register, 16-bit address register, that is program counter and stack pointer. That is program counter PC and stack pointer So these are the address registers which we are using in 8085. Then what is a program counter? This program counter always holds address of next memory location. This PC program counter always holds address of next memory location. Next memory location to be accessed. It is used to sequence. What is the purpose of program counter? So the purpose is, it is used to sequence the execution of a program. Next, stack pointer always holds address of the top of the stack. Stack pointer SP always holds address of the top of the stack. Okay. Then it consists of 6 8-bit general purpose registers. It consists of It consists of 6 8-bit general purpose registers, which are accessible to the program, which are accessible to the programmer. That is B, C, D, E, E, H and L. So these are the 6 registers. Then address generated by 8085 microprocessor is, what is the address it will generate? Address generated by this processor is 0000H to FFFH. So this is the maximum address it can generate. Next, the number of machine cycles. The number of machine cycles required to execute an 8085 instruction varies from 1 to 5. Then next we will see the signal description of 8085. Signal description of 8085. Okay, now we'll draw the signal diagram of this 8085 microprocessor. First one here, this is VCC plus 5 volts, and this is ground. Then this is X1, X2, some crystal frequency to generate here. Then address bus A8 to A15, A8 to A15, then AD0 to AD7, then address latch enable, ALE address latch enable, then status signals S0, S1, then IO input output memory. These three are called status signals. then RD bar, then read bar, that is read, then write bar, then next signal INTA, then hold HLDA, then reset out, then clock out, this is 8085. Then here this side SID, serial in data, then SOD, serial out data, SOD, serial out data, next trap, this is a hardware interrupts, these are called trap, then RST 7.5, then 6.5, then 5.5, then INTR, then hold, then ready, then reset in, so these are the signal description of 8085. Okay, now this pair of signals used for serial in out communication is SID and SOD. This is the serial in and serial out data. Then pair of instructions used for serial in out data, that is a SIM and RIM. Then this address latch enable signal is used, ALE address latch enable, is signal is used to latch a low order 8-bit address, to latch low order 8-bit address present on AD0 to AD7 into external latches, Okay, then the next another important point here is S1 and S0 and IO bar, M bar. This is the status signals are called status signals. Then this RD bar, read bar, and WR or signals or control signals. or control signals. The RD bar signal is asserted to read from an external device, and WR bar, this is a write signal, is accepted to write into an external device, memory or IO. Input output. The next last point, this hold and HLDA, hold approximate. This is a hold and HLDA signals are used for DMA, direct memory access, operation. Direct memory access operation. The next will come ready signal. The ready signal is used to by the microprocessor, to communicate with slow operating peripherals, to communicate with slow operating peripherals, Then reset in, is chip reset, which is active low signal, Then reset out signal is used, reset out signal is used to connect to reset IN in of other interfacing circuits used in microprocessor based system. Used in microprocessor based system. Okay, so in 8085 this S0 S1 signals, what is the purpose of that, what it will indicate, that we will see now. This this 8085 uses S0 and S1. This is the status signals to indicate the current status of the processor. The current status of the processor So we'll see how it will show the status. S1 and S0. The status both 00. If S1 and S0 is both 00, then the status will be halt. Then if S1 is 0 and S0 is 1, then system will write. Then S1 is 1 and S0 is 0. It is read. Then both 1 1, it will be fetch. Okay, so this is the operation of the status signals. Then the vectored address corresponds to each hardware vectored interrupts are given below. What is the address of hardware vectored interrupts? The vectored address corresponds to each of the hardware vector interrupts, to each of the hardware vectored interrupts are given below. Okay, so what is the vector interrupts here? One is a trap first, that is a RST 4.5. So what is the address it will show? 0024. Then RST 5.5 This is 0 0 2C H. Then RST 6.5 0 0 3 4 H. Then RST 7.5, the address will be 0 0 3C H. So this is the vectored address of the hardware vector interrupts. Then this INTR is a non-vectored interrupt. This INTR instruction, INTR is a non-vectored interrupt. Non-vectored interrupt. Okay. Then we will continue. Trap is a non-maskable interrupt. Non-maskable interrupt. It is always in enable condition. It is always in enable condition. Always in enable condition. Okay. Then next we will discuss the flag resistor. What is the flag resistors? The flag resistor, that is a sign, zero, auxiliary carry, parity and carry. That we will discuss now. The ALU includes 5 flip-flop. The arithmetic logic unit, the ALU includes 5 flip-flops. That are set or reset. That are set or reset. Set or reset according to data conditions. According to data conditions. In the accumulator. So what is the this flag resistors? Okay. First sign, then 0. This is empty. This is auxiliary carry. Then empty. Then parity. Then empty. This is carry. So this is the flag register. So first one, what is the sign flag? What it indicates? In case of arithmetic operations with sign numbers, the most significant bit D7 is reserved to indicate sign information. That is the purpose. So we will write in case of arithmetic operations. In case of arithmetic operations with signed numbers with signed numbers the most significant, the MSB D7 is reserved to indicate sign information. Okay, then zero flag. So suppose if z equal to 1, if the ALU operation, results in 0. If z equal to 0, if the result is not 0, this is a zero flag. Then auxiliary carry flag. Auxiliary carry flag. In an arithmetic operation, the carry obtained from D3 to D4, bit position is called auxiliary carry. Then parity flag. What is parity flag? We'll see. After ALU operation, the result has an even number of ones, then P equal to 1. Otherwise P equal to 0. Then carry flag. If an arithmetic operation results in a carry, results in a carry. The carry flag is set the carry flag is set, that is cy equal to 1, otherwise it is reset, otherwise it is reset. Okay, next we will see classification based on operation. Next, classification based on operation. Based on operation. Okay. Now here, how the data will be transferred, like various instructions, move and load instructions, and stack pointer, program counter, then load instructions. So many instructions are there that we will see now. Data transfer instructions. This will be used for to write the programs and to find out what is the result of the program also. This is the data transfer instructions. These instructions are used to transfer data from register to register, register to memory, or from memory to register. Okay. So what is the purpose of these instructions? So this is the main. We can transfer data from register to register and register to memory or memory to register. Then no flags will be affected for these instructions. Okay. Now first we will see first instruction, move R1 comma R2. So that means the R2 data will be moved to R1. That means this R1 R2. So this R2 data will be moved to R1. The next instruction, this is move R comma M. R comma M. This will be what is the memory location it is there, that M will be shifted to move to R. Then next instruction, move M comma R. So what is the register it is having, that will be moved to memory. So this is a register to memory. Then another instruction, MVI, move immediate. Comma D8. So here the data 8-bit data will be immediately moved to a register or memory. This is R, register or memory. This will be 8-bit data, that is D8. Okay. Next, LDA 16-bit address, STA 16-bit address, and load HLR data 16-bit address. So like this, so many instructions are there. Just we will see one example, one program, then we will see what is the solution. Okay, the problem is specify the output at port 1 if following program is executed. If following program is executed. Okay, so what is the program? MVI B comma 82H, then MOV move A comma B, then MOV C comma A, then MVI D comma 37, then out port 1, then halt. So this is the program. Okay, now what is the meaning here? So first move B comma 82H. So now the solution will see the instruction move B comma 82. That means the B equal to 82H, this is the address. Okay, then move A comma B. So whatever the B is having, that will be address will be having, that will be moved to A register. So A is equal to 82H. Then move C comma A. So again whatever the register A is having the data, that will be moved to C. Then now C is equal to 82H. Okay, then D, move immediate D comma 37. Whenever data is to be immediately moved to register, then we have to use move immediate MVI. So then D equal to 37H. Okay, then out port 1. Now A will go to port 1. So finally the A will go to port 1. Therefore port 1 is equal to 82H. So this is the explanation of this program. So like this we can write so many programs, the XOR gate operation and other operations also. So you can go through with many instructions also. This the best book is BRAM or Goenka is a good book, and we can refer some previous gate problems. Very some simple theory questions already they will ask. So with this we will close.